Hello guys, welcome to Daily Tech. Today we're going to be looking into the Galaxy S20 FE, FE standing for Fan Edition. When this S20 FE was released and retailed for $699, I thought to myself, now that's a problem for OnePlus. And the reason I thought that was because of what OnePlus stood for as a company and what they stood to achieve when they were founded in 2013. When they were founded in 2013, they decided they were going to be the company known as the flagship killer. In June of 2014, they released the OnePlus One, which was also coined the flagship killer. The phone with almost the same flagship specs as other flagships, but for half the price. Samsung also released the phone in April of 2014, known as the Samsung Galaxy S5. This phone had almost the same chipsets as the OnePlus One, but retailed for $649.99, while the OnePlus One retailed for $299 for the 16GB version and $349 for the 64GB version. Still nowhere near the $649.99 released by Samsung. Samsung had a screen size of 5.1 inches with a body ratio with a resolution of 1080 by 1920. And OnePlus had 5.5 inches and 1080 by 1920. They both had the same chipset of Snapdragon 801, Adreno 330, and Android 4.4.2 KitKat. Samsung had internal storage of 16GB and 2GB of RAM, and OnePlus had a storage of 16GB and 3GB of RAM. The main difference was Samsung's 16 megapixels front camera and 2 megapixels selfie camera, while OnePlus had 30 megapixels rear camera and 5 megapixels selfie camera. Samsung had 2800 mAh battery and OnePlus 3100, Samsung IP67 and OnePlus none of that, which is understandable as they were shaving the cost. As we all know, a company must make money to remain a company. So, OnePlus began to increase the prices in its yearly launch of phones. From the OnePlus One of $299, it went on to $329 for the OnePlus 2 and $399 for the OnePlus 3 and $439 for the OnePlus 3T, which eventually continued to increase up until OnePlus 8 Pro, which retailed at $899. OnePlus knew they were leaving the affordability market, so to recapture that market, they launched the OnePlus Nord. So this is where the S20 FE becomes a problem for OnePlus. The S20 FE has a price point that undercuts the OnePlus, a company known for its affordability. Let me show you an example. Take a look at this. This is a comparison between Samsung S20 FE 5G 128GB and the OnePlus 8 Pro 128GB. We are still going to talk about how this S20 FE will affect the launch of OnePlus 8T. For now, let's finish with this. S20 FE, screen size of 6.5 inches, 1080 by 2400, Gorilla Glass 3, OnePlus 8 6.78 inches, 1440 by 3168 with Gorilla Glass 5. Android 10, they both come with Android 10, Snapdragon 865, Adreno 650. Samsung comes with a rear camera of 12 megapixels, 8 megapixels, and 12 megapixels, while OnePlus comes with a rear camera of 48 megapixels, 8 megapixels, 48 megapixels, and 5 megapixels filter camera. Samsung comes with a selfie camera of 30 megapixels and the OnePlus 16 megapixels. Samsung is packing a battery of 4500 mAh and OnePlus is packing a battery of 4510 mAh. Samsung S20 FE retails at $699 and OnePlus 8 retails at about $819. Depending on where you go for it, might be higher than that. Right at this point, the S20 FE is cheaper than the OnePlus 8 Pro. Being the latest, the newer phone, although the OnePlus 8 Pro does have an advantage in areas of the camera, but the problem here is Samsung is a well-known brand name, and if Samsung was able to get a phone which was similar to the OnePlus 8 Pro at a cheaper price, people would most likely always go for the known name. And this is where the problem begins for the OnePlus. OnePlus is rumored to launch its OnePlus 8T on the 14th of October. However, there's been an interesting news that the OnePlus 8T would be retailing at €599, which is about $696, but which will most likely retail at $699 if that was to be true. This would be a problem because the OnePlus 8T, that price there is the same price which the OnePlus 8 launched with. The T series for the OnePlus usually tends to be more expensive than the original, so normally the 8T should be more expensive than the OnePlus 8. This is how OnePlus has structured its pricing system. However, let's look at what this phone comes with. The OnePlus 8 is rumored to launch on the 14th of October 2020. This is what we think it might come with. A screen size of 6.5 inches, 4500 mAh battery, rear cameras of 48 megapixel sensors, 60 megapixels ultra wide, 5 megapixels macro camera, 2 megapixels portrait lens, with a 16 megapixel selfie camera. However, the launch of the S20 FE has thrown a spanner in the works of OnePlus, and I'm excited to see what happens during the launch of the OnePlus 8T. I cannot wait to see the battle between these two. It's just like the battle between the Xbox and the PS5. This should be interesting. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, share and subscribe.